Hello and welcome. My name's Adam and today we're going to be taking a look at Targi, a two-player small box game published in the UK by Cosmos Games. Targi is a game about controlling Tuareg tribes in the desert, trading goods and resources to grow the influence of their tribe, controlling trading routes and collecting victory points. It's one of those games which has been at the top of two-player recommendations for years and years now. So we're going to have a look at it and find out exactly why. Okay, let's get the game to the table and see what it's all about. Okay then, this is Targi. So I set up the start of the game, which is to put the border cards around the outside. These cards are always set up the same way. They're all numbered, so they'll always go in the same order. And these cards mark the outside, the boundaries of the landscape that you're playing on, the desert. And this is where we're placing our workers. The first thing we need to do to finish the setup is to place the goods and the tribe cards in the order specified in the manual. So we'll do that now. Okay, so we've got our starting setup done here. And what's the aim of the game? What are we trying to do in Targi? So the aim in Targi is to collect as many of these things as we can, these silver crosses. These are victory points. Some of them have numbers on them, 1, 3 and 5. And there's some of these tribal cards, which also give you victory points. The way we're going to get these victory points is by acquiring and then trading goods. The goods are either salt, dates, or pepper, and there's also gold available as a currency. So the first thing we do at the start is to place the robber on the card. The robber doesn't do much. He basically blocks an action each time. He also, when he gets to a corner space, he carries out a raid, which means each player needs to forego some victory points or some goods. Every round, the robber will move from one card to the next. He signifies the passage of time. Once he gets back here, if the game hasn't already been triggered a game end, then that's the end of the game. The way this game plays, the two players take the part of either white or blue, and they take 3 workers and a couple of tribal markers each in their colours. And on your turn, as the first player, you're going to place one of your workers on one of the cards. So I'll place that one there, then blue would take a turn. And when blue places his worker, he's got a couple of rules to follow. He can only go on the edge cards, he can't go in the corner cards, and he can't go where the grey rubber maple is. He also cannot go directly opposite one of my, or in this case the white workers. So he cannot go here, for example. In this example, he might choose to go here, and then white has to follow the same rules. So he can't go here now because he'd be directly opposite. So he'll probably go for a side card, like this one, for example. Blue takes a turn. He can't go here. He can't go here. It would make not much sense to go here. You'll see why in a moment, because he's directly opposite his own. So he might choose to go here. White then could go. He might choose here. Then blue is really only left with one spot he can go, which is directly opposite the robber, which is okay. That's a legal move. So once players have done that, here's where the interesting bit comes in. This is where we place our tribal markers, and we place them at the intersections where the rows and columns we've claimed meet. So in this case, if I trace a line out from here and here, I put one here. If I trace a line from here and here, I put another one here. Blue then does the same, claiming this card and this card. And then we take the workers back, gaining whatever was under them. And we can do that in any order we want in order to gain the commodities to then pay for some of these cards. So if I take this one back, I gain a pepper. This one I might take back, he'll give me some dates. And then this one here will give me salt. So I've got a good mixture of all 3 resources then. This one here will give me dates and pepper, which is good. Then this one here, these tribal cards, so these are the ones that we're really trying to get. In front of us, we can have this tableau of tribal cards, 3 rows of 4 cards. And each tribal card has a different type, as signified by the picture in the corner. This one here, for example, is a pool or an oasis card. We've got a camel rider here, and there are we've got these female tribal markers here. They're one of 5 types of tribes. And we'll get bonuses if we manage to complete a row that has all of the same kind or none of the same kind, no repeating kinds in our 12. Once someone's built or bought the 12th card, that's the end of the game. To take this one then, I need to pay, let's have a look at this card a bit closer. I need to take 2 pepper and I need to pay even 2 pepper and a gold in order to do that. If I already had a gold in my possession, I could then pay the 2 pepper that I collected during that round, take that, and then take that card. The cards that I claim during the game come out and go into a discard pile and are replaced by a card of the opposite kind. So where there was a tribal marker, there'll be a goods card. Where there was a goods card, there'll be a tribal card. They'll get flipped at the start of the next round. Blue then does the same. Okay, some of them are special actions. This caravan one, for example, lets me take a goods card from the top of the deck. This one lets me take any of the 3 resources, but you don't know what you're going to get until you draw that card. This Fata Morgana card lets you move one of your markers to any other unclaimed spots at the end of the round, so that's quite powerful. And play continues in that manner. The pieces come back off the board as they're collected, the cards get replaced and flipped at the start of the next round. If we can get them off the tabletop here, like this. The robber moves to the next spot. The first player marker moves to the other player, and we continue. Now that all seems easy enough. We can see that we're just placing workers down, gaining resources, then paying for cards. Where this game gets clever though is in how you place your workers. Now, for example, if I were the blue player taking my turn this time, and I could see that in the last round my opponent was taking these Oasis cards, and he had his eye on this one here, for example, because it's worth 3 points at the end of the game. I can see what resources he's got, they're public knowledge, and I can see that he doesn't have the gold required for this. So instead of me placing a worker for something that I want, I might choose to go here on this round, blocking this entire row. That means that the white player will not be able to place a marker there. No matter what he does, even if he goes here on his next turn, he wouldn't be able to place a further marker on that same row. So would never be able to claim that. And this is where the game really shines. This is where it really gets interesting, because we're not just talking about placing workers now where there's something that we desperately want. We're talking about placing workers just to annoy the other person and to take the thing that they wanted. And so the game just continues in that manner. We keep placing workers, taking resources, refilling these from the cards that were placed, building up this tableau of tribal cards at the end of the game, whether that be the robber making his way back to the first tile, or someone finishing their 12th tribe card in their tableau. The victory points are calculated. That's made up of any of these silver cross tokens the players have managed to accrue during the game, and by the silver crosses on their tribe cards. Some of these tribal cards will actually give you victory points at the end of the game as well, additional bonuses. Now this one here, for example, tells me that at the end of the game, if this card is in the rightmost space of a complete row, you receive 2 additional victory points. So there's some pretty difficult choices to make when you're claiming these cards and trying to stop other people getting them. And that, riding that balance of, do I take these cards because I want them, or do I take these cards because my opponent wants them, is where the joy comes in this game. And that's it. That's Targi. Nice and easy. Okay, so that was Targi. Not a board game in the strictest sense of the word, after all there's no board, but a great game all the same. It's small and it's cheap, and it's always recommended for 2 players. And I think you can probably see from that very quick overview exactly why. It's really quick and easy to lay out. It's very quick to learn. I was able to show you how to play it and some example turns in 10 minutes. So it's a very accessible game. The game is so simple because your choices in each round are limited. There's only a certain number of places you can move, and often another player is blocking them, either intentionally or just because they're trying to do their own thing. But that's the point. You never really know if it's them just trying to stop you getting what you want, or them trying to get what they want. And that's where the beauty of this game lies. The rules quickly disappear and you're left just playing the game for what it is, something like chess or drafts. You start bluffing and then double bluffing. You have an idea of what you're building and what they're building, and you try and keep an eye on your resources and their resources and see what to do. And it can lead to some pretty passive-aggressive gameplay. If that's not your thing, then and if it's likely to cause arguments, then perhaps it's not the game for you. But for anybody else, absolutely, this is a wonderful little game. It's not filler in any sense of the word. It just comes in a small box without a board, and that's what Targi does brilliantly. It feels so much deeper and cleverer than it should do. And every time you play it, you'll get more and more cunning, and the game comes to life more and more with every time you play. There's an expansion available. I haven't got that yet. I haven't played it. I hope to, because by the looks of it, it adds a lot of fun to it. When it comes to the game itself, the components are nice enough. The nice little wooden meeples, the blue and the white. The blue is an unusual colour blue to use in one of these games. The cards are standard fare. They're hard wearing enough. They look nice. The little cardboard tokens, again, I've seen some people sort of bling their game up by introducing replacements for the salt and pepper and dates, but as they are, it's absolutely fine. It's the sort of game you can tuck inside any bag and take with you anywhere, and as long as you've got a reasonable sized table, you're going to be able to play it. Set it up in 5 minutes, play a game in half an hour, 45 minutes maybe, pack it away again, and you're done. I love Targi. I think it's a brilliant game. It's always in stock. Cosmos have always got it in stock in the UK. In your part of the world, I dare say you can find it as well. It's really cheap. I think you can usually pick it up for around £20 or less. So I'd highly, highly recommend it to anyone who's got a player 2 that they regularly play with. And if you don't have something like this in your collection, absolutely go out and buy it. You'll have great fun with it. The game will slowly reveal itself the more and more you play it, and the clever design decisions will come to the fore, and you'll really enjoy it. There is a solo variant created by the designer of the game, which you can download from somewhere like Board Game Geek, and that actually plays quite a good game as well. So if you're stuck on your own, you can practice. Okay, that's it. That's Targi. Thanks for watching. See you next time.